coming to you live from the orbiting underground moon base. It's the LRRcast. Hey, everybody.
The show's never live,
It's
is
time for the LRRcast. No, it's not.
It was once accidentally, and then we stopped.
Yeah, and then we stopped very quickly.
Nice.
But you never know. Maybe some cool new stuff in the new year. Well, but in the meantime, we're here with part 2 of Christmas traditions. I don't know at all what Graham, and Paul?
Yeah.
It was Graham. Yeah, I don't know what they talked about because that podcast is literally exporting as we speak.
But that was their show.
That was their show.
This is our show.
This is our show. This is our time. Let's talk about Christmas.
Their time is up.
I don't celebrate it, so I have nothing to talk about. You guys?
You son of a bitch.
All right, Ian, let's go with you.
Okay, so yeah, my family has spread to the 4 winds, and therefore we don't have many Christmas traditions nowadays, I guess, which means I get to make up my own traditions.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I mean, that's that's where traditions come from, right?
Yeah, you make them.
Yep.
So what about traditions of old though?
Yeah, they
like
like
what about your
olden
kid like when you were a kid, like ideal Christmas when you were like 12, which I feel like is like the peak Christmas
Oh
age.
yeah, those are the good times when you'd get your grandparents that actually were old enough and alive enough to come around. We'd gather the family together, but it would be a small part of the family, so just the grandmother from the mom's side, and then we'd have our Christmas Eve, and everyone would have a nice. Actually, there is a tradition that's interesting, different from most people. We always had Ukrainian food on Christmas Eve.
Really?
And I think I think it was just a family thing because my mother really liked Ukrainian food. And
So nobody in your family is Ukrainian.
farther back, we had some Ukrainian influence, but not in the
right.
immediate family. It's
Interesting.
like
Weird.
things like pierogies and the nalesnica. And nalesnica
Yeah.
is like you take crepes
Okay.
and you bake them real thin,
I mean, that's kind of how crepes go.
real thin, real tender.
Yeah.
Like, some people like to make thick crepes.
That's a
from the
That's
pancake.
I was just gonna say that's a
That's
pancake.
a goddamn pancake.
Not that thick. So we're talking like just about less than half a centimeter.
Okay.
So a crepe.
Any wider than that,
Yes.
which some people like to do.
We understand the concept of crepes. Please continue.
Take your not sour cream, cottage cheese.
Okay.
Put it inside.
I'm out.
Roll the crepes up. Then add some dill and chip.
Oh God, no.
Now put it in a baking dish. Pour cream over it.
Oh, I
And
see where this is going.
Bake the shit out of it.
So it's sort of like cannelloni, only crepes.
Yes.
Crepe-aloni.
Crepe bologna.
It's Ukrainian.
All right.
Ukrainian
I mean,
crepe-aloni.
that's not my kind of thing, but
But the nice thing is it also meant we had like some leftover Ukrainian food for Christmas morning.
And that was a Christmas Eve thing.
Yep, that always
See,
Christmas Eve was
That's
always
interesting
there.
because my family Christmas Eve was just nothing. There was nothing about Christmas Eve that
Christmas Eve was go the hell to bed.
it was basically like there was no family get-togethers, there was no dinner, there was no like gift, which is and now I'm with Ashley's family. And that's something I guess I can talk about when it comes to my turn is now that it's like I alternate. It's like you get married and all of a sudden you're like, 1 year I'm here and 1 year you're here. But her family always does like the one gift on Christmas Eve.
So do
but
ours.
their gift is always pajamas that you would wear that night. And that would be sort of your Christmas Day attire.
And
Yeah, right.
if you were woke up on Christmas morning without those pajamas, and it was
It was good luck.
It seems like
I
pretty
mean,
good.
it means you got laid.
okay. And not that you pissed the bed.
No, exactly. Well, it could mean that too, I guess.
See, we've sort of converged on the kind of one present thing as well. Like,
The one present on Christmas Eve or
no,
one
on
present
Christmas
overall?
Day, usually.
Oh, okay.
I think back in the day we used to have a whole bunch of presents under the tree. I feel as though there's like a lot less now, but it's more of a big deal. The stocking, which
Yeah.
is always full of usually the same stuff, but it's all like good stuff.
It's
And,
useful
like practice.
things.
Like we
Yeah.
get, because we're an artistic family, we get like pens and like highlighters and pencils and junk like that, and then like you get the Pocky and the tiny oranges.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you get Pocky in your stocking.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on for?
I don't know.
Okay.
While.
long as you
Forever.
have-
I
you
mean,
can't
we
remember.
live right next to Fujiya, so like we get a lot of Japanese candy in our stocking.
Nice.
That's cool.
It's just like, ding ding.
And always the orange in the sock, or in the toe, right?
Yeah, it always makes its way down there,
Yeah.
which it's probably but the worst place to put it.
Well, it rounds out the end.
Yeah. We get a couple of like little gag things in there, like I think I got Schadenfreude mints one time. But there's other like weird stuff. It's on the I don't remember any of them now.
Like stocking wise, I know like when I was like when I was a kid, the whole Christmas morning was my sister would wake me up because she's a little younger than I am and was always like super excitable. So she'd wake me up at like five in the morning or something like
Oh,
that,
wow.
and she would just try to go back to sleep and it would never work. And then I think the rule was 8 a.m. We could get up and it was time to go at 8. However,
That's interesting because that's our family as well as the 8 a.m.
Yeah.
and from the other podcast too. seemed to
oh,
be.
interesting.
Yeah.
Eight's which is so weird because I would never get up at 8 a.m. any other day of the year, and I don't even at this point in my life like getting up at 8 a.m. on Christmas. I'd be okay with like 10.
Yep.
Maybe even like 9 would be nice, but 10 would be perfect. But
I intend to stumble out of bed at 10 in the morning.
yeah, like if I
See
ever
you all at noon.
if I ever have kids, it's definitely going to be
Gas.
a little bit later, like 9:30, and I'll just figure out a way to make it work.
Let us know how that
Yeah,
pans
it
out.
probably doesn't work well. But so we would be allowed to do the whole Christmas thing at 8 a.m. But before we did that, the whole room had to be prepped. Like my mom and my dad, they would start the fire and they would start the music, and they would start. My dad used to make bread every Christmas morning as well, like cinnamon raisin bread, which was delicious. Ugh, I really wish these were my Christmases still.
Wah, wah.
And then we would come out and we would do the stocking and the present from. We would get a present from our parents, and we get a present from Santa, and one would be significantly small. Like it wouldn't be like because generally I think when people think Christmas, there's like one big present and then like a stocking, right? And we were basically that, but we had like one big present and the stocking, and then another like smallish present from Santa. And we would get to do the stocking and the Santa present first, and then we would have to stop. And then my grandparents, my mom's mom and dad,
Oh, yeah.
would come over for breakfast, and we would sit down and we would have breakfast.
Jeez, you have to wait.
And then after breakfast, we would go back to the Christmas present opening, at which point we would open presents from each other. And then lunch would roll around. And it's weird because I feel like a lot of families do stuff throughout the day, but at like noon till about 5, my family just didn't do anything.
Yeah, which brought up the whole tradition that we have now, the Christmas movie.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, the Christmas movie.
I'm pretty sure every year we would watch A Christmas Story,
Oh, yeah.
which I actually like. I dig that movie.
Yeah. No,
And
Christmas Story is great.
I think I know a couple people who really hate it, probably through repetition, because it's broadcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, you know what? It's probably the same as Christmas music, but I have a fondness for that film.
I kind of want to roll it back here a second, though, because it's going right back to the stockings. So you had to unwrap your stocking in public.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Alex, what was your experience with the stocking?
Same thing. Like
In
Christmas
public?
Christmas morning. What do you mean in public? As opposed to what? You get like a double-ended dildo in yours?
So this...
It's like, I'm going to do this in private.
They would send us out to the town square, and it would just be humiliating. It was
Like, here ye, the
James
James
gets-
Turner stocking contains these forbidden items.
one orange,
Disgusting.
no,
One pair of socks, black,
one licorice whip.
red.
Black.
That's a really good bet.
Yeah,
okay,
you
so
should write that down.
what do you mean publicly?
So,
Because
well,
now I'm confused.
So this is a difference between what happened in my family and also, again, in the last podcast. Our families worked in a way that we'd get up really early, right? Kids want to get up early.
Yeah.
So you get the stocking, and you can run out, find your stocking next to the fireplace or whatever form of tubular
And
transport. Santa
how
uses.
early are you allowed to do this?
As early as you want to.
Because presumably your parents set it up. Santa set it up.
That's a nice way to like
Awkward.
tank the kid aggro.
And that's exactly it. Like you can grab your stocking, and then you're going back to your room, and you're under the covers, and maybe your brother's there too, and you're like get there with a flashlight, looking at what you got in your stocking.
Oh, damn. That's a good idea.
That is a
That's
good idea.
That's tech. I'm stealing that for kids.
Just like, yeah, have at your stocking, then we'll do presents later. It's like, I bought some time to sleep.
Yeah, and usually like, you can get some reading material in there too.
Yeah.
You shove candy in so the kids have something to eat, like
Yeah,
along with
that's
the
true.
oranges. Well,
Yeah, like we get a lot of candy in our stocking, but
Yeah.
it's usually we get up and then like everybody sort of goes through it, and there's like Werther's, and there's like sometimes Ramune or Ornament C shows up a lot. Man, that's that stuff's like drinking nostalgic because I had it on when we went to Japan one
energy
time.
drink-esque
Yeah,
stuff.
it's wild.
The candy has definitely slowed down. I mean, the stockings have definitely slowed down a little bit as I've gotten older too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're now all 30-year-old men, and while I'm sure all three of our mothers still love doing it, it's a little funny when I go to my mom's house on Christmas morning, and it's the stocking with the staples are there'll be a there'll be an orange at the bottom, the mandarin orange. I'll get some Reese's.
Is that like a Canada thing, or is that just like a Christmas thing?
We were trying to figure this out actually the other day. I don't know if it's Canada or if it's a UK thing. It's definitely not an American thing.
Because there's always oranges, and there's frequently Terry's chocolate oranges.
Yeah, which I don't like.
No, that's interesting.
More for us.
Again, I don't have we never did the Terry's chocolate orange, but we did do the hell out of Toblerone bars.
Oh, interesting.
The big.
Oh yeah, we get that too.
I
That
still
happens a
have
lot.
2 Toblerones from Christmases past that I eventually will make into cookies.
There's a
Do you
thing
just
that-
get diabetes every Christmas?
I
Yeah.
don't like sweets that much anymore, and they still keep coming.
There
But
was a thing
tradition.
we used to get, which was like I think it was a genuine eggshell, but
Yes.
it'd been like drained and then like filled with milk chocolate.
What?
So you'd peel off this eggshell, and it was just like a solid chunk of chocolate.
Dude, what? I want that.
I know, it was
It's the
kind of
coolest
sweet.
thing.
I mean, that sounds like an Easter thing.
I know,
That
but
feels like
it
that
would
should be
show
an
up
Easter.
occasionally. I don't think we ever got them as kids because there was what my parents got, and I was like, I want one.
Kids might choke on this.
I think it was. I recall it being like hazelnut chocolate of some sort, and it was really like high end stuff. I was like, whoa,
Yeah, and you kids
that's
are
the
too
good stuff.
too
It's like
young
here
to
you get the
appreciate.
Cadbury shit. you know,
Oh dear.
Okay, so that's a so present wise.
I think I derailed you with oranges.
You've got the you got the one big thing and the Santa thing, and then
Yeah.
you've got the
And then I got my stocking.
and then family comes by, have your lunch, and then you're into the afternoon.
Yep.
And your morning was
Like we get up, do stockings, and then one person I think would usually be Santa, and like
We would
hand
do
out,
we would do
dole
that
out presents.
we would do that at dinner because normally we would do
Really,
we
we
would do
always did the presents in the
well,
morning.
because dinner would be the whole family, and it was
Yeah.
always with my growing up. Dinner on Christmas Day was always with my mom's side of the family, and then Boxing Day we would go up island and spend it with my dad's side of the family.
yeah, that's
And we would do a lot less presents on that side of the family. My mom's side of the family was always much closer. And we've done Secret Santa on that side of the family for years and years and years and
So-
years and years. So
Here's why Christmas is weird for me. Because my birthday is 2 days after.
oh no.
Yeah.
Now, that sometimes works out in my favor. It usually does because I would either get like 2 presents or 1 big present.
yeah,
But it's kind of difficult getting people to remember or give a shit about your birthday
Oh,
party
dude.
when there's like holiday stuff going on.
absolutely. I mean, my
So-
my birthday is 5 days before Halloween, and it's significantly less shitty than having it right next to Christmas. But even I feel that, like as a kid growing up, especially, everybody was super stoked about Halloween.
You
They were
gotta
they
always-
wanted to get all dressed up.
You gotta
They
have
wa-
a Halloween birthday.
yeah, and everybody always wanted you to have a Halloween party, but
It's
it's
like, I don't want to. I just want to have a James party.
Yeah, and that's a big reason as to why I just don't really give a shit about Halloween as an adult.
That's fair.
Because I was just like, no,
Yeah.
screw you.
Lost
I
all
want-
meaning.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should give Ashton a desert bus party.
I mean,
Oh, wait, we do.
Yeah, we do every year.
That's harsh.
So, so let's get back on the food here, actually, because that's where I find a lot of the
Turkey.
difference happens. Okay, so turkey, or
It,
ham.
it was It was Man, it felt like it's no. You know what it was? It was because we would go up for lunch on Boxing Day. We would always have there would be like a really big spread, and ham would be. We would have ham then.
Okay.
And we would generally almost always have turkey on Christmas Day.
Okay. Yeah, we're a turkey family as well.
Yeah, it's
I
just
do
like
not care for ham.
ham's great.
It's not Christmas
but
food.
it's not even. Yeah, I guess I don't really associate it with Christmas, but it's also ham is significantly an easier thing to do. I think I think the reason that turkey is so sort of special and reserved for the holidays so often is because it's a pain in the ass. Like a full
We have to
turkey
like bake
meal.
it for what? Like
hours,
and
you're doing all the other prep for like the vegetables and the potatoes and the stuffing and the desserts and whatever. But ham is generally actually pretty easy. So
just pull the trigger on it. A couple like not even an hour or two.
I'm a guy who slow cooks my ham. And
that's yeah.
And there's nothing that makes a meal feel less like you've put effort into it than just pulling it out of the slow cooker.
Go.
Okay, so I want to ask then, top 3 Christmas, not dessert, but top 3 Christmas dinner items. Go.
Oh, jeez.
Dinner items?
Yeah, the things on your plate. What are you going to load up the most on?
Turkey.
Turkey, gravy. Gravy.
Does gravy count?
Yeah, gravy counts.
So we have to
turkey gravy taters.
It's probably turkey gravy taters. I would probably switch out gravy if it's my dad's stuffing.
Stuffing is sort of like an over and under kind of thing. Like sometimes it's good.
I mean,
and
that's the thing. I could spend an entire hour talking about the differences between like turkey dinners at my grandma's or my nana's or what my dad would make, right? And now I have this whole other family. Once you get married, all of a sudden you have this whole other family.
Brief aside.
So now I have Ashley's parents and grandparents, and they all make their own food, and it's all like,
My dad was very fond of saying that the reason his marriage works is because he likes the dark meat, and my mom likes the white meat. So it's like, we're good.
So what are you?
White meat.
Man, if I had to choose, I think I'd actually take dark.
Dark all day, every day.
Yeah, I just take both.
All the moistness is in the dark.
All the moistness is in the dark. That being said, a good cook can get moistness in the white meat.
That's true, and that's part of what the turkey's there, or the gravy's there for too, is the rehydration.
Yep.
Me, I would have to say, I like my turkey, but number 1, Brussels sprout.
You monster! You're an actual monster.
Number 2. I would have to put under the mashed potatoes with the gravy because I mixed them together.
Yeah.
In the end, so that goes together.
This means something.
Yeah, and then then I don't know. Maybe.
What's your preferred Christmas dessert?
Okay, that's butter tarts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem for me now, though, and we had this conversation about the grandparents that we have. The one that I am missing is the one that made the butter tarts.
Oh.
It's the worst. And because she made the best damn butter tarts in the world. They were so good. And I miss her and her butter tarts like crazy every Christmas, even more so.
I'm really glad that we weren't like a fruitcake giving family.
Fruitcake is just
awful.
Weird.
Wow, this is so interesting between getting to see the two different sides, because I am also on the side of fruitcake is great when made correct. When made correctly.
Well, maybe that's the thing, is that like fruitcake when it shows up at Christmas is usually like the store-bought hunk of garbage.
Yeah, the dense
just like,
piece
hey,
of thing with
I
candy
forgot
in it.
about you, but here's a log of fruit matter.
I also enjoy those, but I also like the ones that are drenched in like a pint of brandy over the course of 3 months.
Ooh.
That does sound delicious.
Yeah.
See, like the fruitcake's the thing that like gets parked at the back of your freezer for the next 10 years.
And maybe you should stop buying fruitcakes.
I don't buy fruitcakes. That's the thing, is you never buy fruitcakes, you're bequeathed them.
Different families.
Weird.
I think. Okay, next question I had about that, food-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Eggnog.
In favor of.
Okay.
I definitely don't drink it I purposely don't drink it as much as I used to, just because it's unbelievably bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably like lose weight and not gain weight, but it's delicious.
Store-bought or homemade?
Store bought only because I'm lazy.
Okay.
Island Farms, which is
Island Farms is really good.
is our local
We're a little spoiled.
dairy producer here on the island. In my opinion, makes the best eggnog I've ever had.
I've got a bit of a lactose sensitivity, and so I just had some cartoned eggnog just recently. That stuff is thin.
What were you drinking?
Island Farms.
You're drinking the Island Farms
yeah.
eggnog?
No, dude. What? Okay, so you actually just want to eat mayonnaise.
Because I lived in Japan for 2.5 years.
I'm going to be sick.
I counted the Christmases. The first one was in a hotel with Mr. Black whiskey because I just moved there and my home wasn't ready and everyone left. Second Christmas I went to Thailand. The third one I wanted goddamn eggnog.
That's fair.
They don't have eggnog.
So you had to make your own eggnog?
So I had to learn how to
No.
make
He
my own.
made pudding and called
Yeah,
it
it
eggnog.
sounds like you made pudding because Island Farm egg. I mean, albeit I haven't had it this year, so maybe they've changed up the formula. But
But if you're gonna
And
have
are
one,
you positive it wasn't cut with something?
I put all the stuff in myself. Oh, you mean the Island Farms?
Yeah, like
with with kerosene. No, you get a good quality cream. Like, don't stop at Homo milk. You got to go all the way up into your half and
Like
halves.
10
okay, so you get half and half. Then what?
Maybe
So you
half
get
and half's
whipping
a little
cream.
bit much, but yeah, whipping cream and maybe some 10%. Just
you get butter.
get good cream. You mix up your egg whites with your sugar, or your egg yolks with your sugar. Get them together. Whip up the egg whites. Fold them in softly. And if you're only going to have a couple cups of eggnog every year, just go whole hog.
All right. Do you like rum in your eggnog?
Now I've gone back and forth on that because I like rum, I like eggnog, I like them together, but I actually prefer them separate. I think.
Yeah, so do I actually. If
I
I'm gonna
don't drink, so
yeah, and that's
a non-issue.
Yeah, exactly. But if at this point, if I'm gonna drink eggnog, I'm just gonna drink the eggnog.
Yeah, and then have some rum afterwards.
I'm a
Exactly.
little bit honked that this year Cam had a tweet about it's like, what did he say? Like, eggnog is just liquid mayonnaise and you're all drinking it. It's like, God damn it, why would you say that? Now I'm going to think of that every
You're
time I have
ruining this for
eggnog.
me.
So I just need a little bit of tangy eggnog.
Just like put it on my white bread and get a bologna,
All right.
Okay.
some of that fluorescent mustard.
Actually, now this leads into another question. If I can interrupt again.
Yeah. No.
So, that said, on the topic of tangential from rum and our eggnog, how do you think Christmas has changed for you in the years since you've been a kid
God.
to how you are now as an
It's
adult?
become way less
Immensely.
of a
It-
huge
it's-
deal.
It doesn't dominate my life. I'm not unbelievably excited for it, and I mean, like, so.
Which, I mean, I'm super cool with that, because, like, I
there are-
don't especially care for, like, the like, you know, the big holiday hoopla kind of thing. It's like, Christmas has really been washing over me this year, and I'm totally fine with it. It's like, okay, you know, I'm fine that that's something that other people celebrate, but it's not like, oh my God, it's Christmas. It's like, you know, I'm not like, I guess I'm not opposed to it, but it's just like it's not a big thing anymore.
Scrooge.
Sure, okay. I think the only thing that I really resent about Christmas is the music.
Yeah.
Because of how inescapable it is. Like, I sat down to lunch and realized way too late that they had a Christmas album on repeat, and I was just like,
No, it was happening at the bar last night when I was doing my trivia.
I was like,
this is
if
Christmas music.
it was exactly the same and they didn't broadcast that shit non-stop,
Is
like,
there a point
no
in time?
other point in the year does music dominate thematically that much.
Oh, Alex, what are your feelings on Last Christmas?
What?
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
The very next day, you gave it away.
It's a song?
Okay, because that's in Japan. That is pretty much the dominant
Really?
Christmas tune in stores
Really
and malls.
interesting.
It's
You
So
know,
is there a point in time where is it the length of because the fact is that we live in a world now where basically mid-November, maybe even early November at this point, Christmas starts kicking into high gear. So do you think it's just the fact that there's just so much of it for so long? Would you be okay with it if, like, December 15th rolled around and it was like all Christmas, all the time, in your face, 2 weeks, and then we're done.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I mean, it's like I didn't really give a shit about it this year because like, I mean, it's a waste of time to be like mad about it, and it's not like I even was. I was just sort of like noticed that the lights and stuff go up. I'm not like, it's just like
that's fair.
But like,
I noticed a lot more Halloween this year happening in my face than Christmas. I'm very good about controlling what media gets to me, and I don't go outside because I'm a hermit apparently. But I don't feel like Christmas has started. It's probably going to hit when I get off the plane in Lethbridge in a couple days. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cold and white now.
So we're recording this. It is, what is it today? The 18th. It's the 18th today. We're recording this a week before Christmas, and I still don't actually really feel like it's Christmas yet, and that's actually really unusual. We have this thing. It's called Desert Bus, which does a really good job.
Christmas.
What it does for me is it does a really good job of blocking out all of Christmas from the outside world for basically the entire month of November, because it's just I can't think of anything else. So Christmas doesn't even enter my mind. But I know that in general, the rest of the world is experiencing Christmas when we're going through Desert Bus, right? Mm-hmm. It's kicking up into high gear. And for me, generally, the Christmas season has always kind of started with the charity dinner. Because that's kind of my unofficial, not even my unofficial, it is my official end to the Desert Bus year. Is once I'm done at that dinner, I can feel like, all right, Desert Bus is done for this year. I can take a couple months and try not to think about it, not think about it because it's impossible, but try not to think about it and enjoy Christmas. And I've been back for a week since the dinner, and it still hasn't really hit me. I haven't done any shopping. I still need to buy presents for everybody.
Mm-hmm. You guys are all getting cool.
Normally, I enjoy listening. I don't love Christmas music, but I don't mind it, and sometimes I enjoy listening to it to get me into the sort of the Christmas spirit. But this year, not so much. It's been weird. I think, to be honest, I think another combination has been the move here. Has been another thing that's been just sort of these much bigger things have been dominating my brain.
It feels like
actually, you're right. Like, there's been so much stuff going on. Like, like the move, like coming back to, from Desert
really
Bus.
Feel like we've put our lives on hold.
I'm trying to like get a graphic novel off the ground now, which is important to me. I don't know. I just like haven't had much like spare neurons to think about Christmas.
No spare cycles to run on Christmas at this point.
I mean, to answer your question that you asked a while ago, which was how is Christmas different though from a child to now? I mean, it's significantly different. Just I think with age, regardless of anything that happens in your life. Like my parents separated about 7 years ago now, so that had a massive impact on how I celebrated the holidays. Ashley and I got married last year, and 2 or 3 years ago, we decided that instead of spending Christmas apart, which was kind of silly, we would actually start just trading back and forth between each other's families. So this year, for instance, I'm going to Ashley's parents for Christmas, which means I'm doing Christmas with my family tomorrow and Sunday night. I'm doing like Christmas dinner with my dad on Saturday and then Christmas dinner with my mom on Sunday. So it's weird because I know that I can never go back to the Christmas that I had, and not that I ever thought that was going to be an option anyways, right? So that's always been kind of a weird thing. And the other big way that Christmas has changed, and in a very good way, is when I became an uncle. Mm-hmm. My sister had her daughter. She's 4.5 now, so she's right at that. Like last year, especially, she has finally sort of hit that age where she is very aware of what Christmas is. Mm. And when you have a young child in your house on Christmas morning, that energy just comes right back into you.
I guess you sort of get
really
to experience
cool.
the other end of it. Is the sort of like you become the, I guess, like show curator for the experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're just like, oh man, I'm gonna make them so happy.
Yeah,
this
and that's
year.
something I'm really excited for when I become a dad at some point, is being able to create all those traditions and experiences that my parents did for me. Right?
Christmas.
Yeah, I get to be the architect, which is kind of cool.
You are the master.
I think that's kind of cool.
Of Christmas.
And I'm really excited to see Graham and Kathleen do that over the next couple of years. Obviously, this year is pretty much a not
That kid
really
is
a
going to
thing.
wear some hats.
I still think
But-
I still think Beej's suggestion of laying down a black tarp Christmas morning with no discussion of why it's happening.
Just put a razor blade in the middle.
Whoa!
Oh no, wait, that's Cam.
That's
This is just how you. This is the tradition that they're going to.
Yeah,
set up.
you could do so much with that. You put a black tarp and just like a mound of whipped cream
That's how we. That's how
with
we
a gift card at the top.
That's how we summon Santa. And then don't speak of it at all, but do it every year. Until the kid has to explain it
Or
at
you
school.
do it one year, and when they ask about it, they're like, "What are you talking about? We've traded presents."
How about the black tarp with the whipping cream, and at the stroke of midnight, the child has to just cut their finger a little bit and drop some blood, and that's how you summon Santa Claus.
Now go to bed.
And now go to bed.
Santa materializes out of a right angle in the room that's been specially prepared.
Oh God! We're just performing alchemy to summon Santa.
He instills the gift of knowledge upon you.
Okay.
I know Christmas.
All right. How about media with Christmas? Is there any traditions surrounding? I
think I mentioned before A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story?
I like that movie, and I like watching it once a year.
Are there any diehard people here? I used to.
I really love that movie.
Yeah.
It's never really been a tradition to watch it. I think we may have watched it last year or the year before at our friend's place because it's basically a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like sometimes we'll get black and white Alistair, not Crowley.
Christmas, what?
Alistair Crowley. That Christmas thing or
and Bobby's
Merry
house.
Christmas. No, what?
A Christmas Carol?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay,
Oh,
not
okay.
Miracle.
I don't know why I
I
couldn't it was on the tip of my tongue.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like because that's always on.
Yeah,
you just like
that's a
you
good
watch
one.
about like a third of it, and you're just like, yes, this movie.
So I'm a big fan of the Santa Claus 3.
Okay. 3.
You know what? Yeah, I don't actually know. I watched. I didn't watch it. I watched maybe about 10 minutes of it because it was on TV the other day. But the Santa Claus 2 was on TV.
Yep.
Oh wow, that movie is terrible.
No.
The Santa Claus.
Oh, no.
But it's the Mrs. Claus. You have to get married. God, that movie was terrible. Movies I actually really like. There's only one movie I will watch every single year without fail, and that is Charlie Brown. The next one in line of if I can, I will watch it. If I can't, I'm not upset. Muppet Christmas Carol.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Oh,
wow,
dude,
no,
you need to watch it.
It's one of the good
It's
Muppet movies.
super great. It's my favorite Muppet. It's my favorite Muppet thing ever. Is A Christmas Carol. A
All right.
Muppet's Christmas Carol. Die Hard's on that list. I used to watch Die Hard a lot. I used to watch it with Bill on Christmas Eve,
I can see that.
and that was always fun.
That actually does seem like a really good Christmas Eve movie. It's like
Yeah,
you have,
that's when I
Bruce
would
Willis
watch.
shooting up
Yeah.
a bunch of people. and then
I
Christmas
introduced
morning.
it to Ashley's family 4 years ago. I feel like 3 or 4 years ago we went over to Vancouver for Christmas.
I have a machine gun.
And that was really
Ho,
fun.
ho, ho, ho.
I'm trying to do a New Year's movie tradition that I've been trying to get going for a while, but
Which
lack
was
of people. It's Mutu the Dancing Maharaja.
Ah,
So I'll
that's
hopefully
cool.
get
Are
all
you
into that.
sure we can't find a copy of Gaki no Batsu before? I want to do that so bad.
Did
I for real want to do that.
Did they talk
We'll see.
about in the other podcast, in the other episode, about the Christmas Day movie
Yes.
at all?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so that's another one that I can't even remember when I started that, but and they mentioned it in the last podcast, so I'll just really quickly say every year, probably since like just after high school, like early 2000s, after Christmas dinner, after we were all done with our family, because we hadn't actually seen each other for the day, like all of like, and this was before, I think it started honestly before Loading Ready Run started, but just like all the high school friends, we would get together and we would go see a late show of a movie, generally a movie that opened on Christmas Day, because there's generally like 2 or 3 movies that open on Christmas
Do you
Day.
remember what we saw last year? Because we couldn't remember that in the last podcast.
No, I
Okay.
don't remember what we watched last year. The couple that I remember that really stand out, we watched Django Unchained a couple years ago. Wow. The Spirit. Did you guys ever see that
no,
one?
I heard it wasn't
the
great.
horrible ripoff, like the horrible, like I want to be like Sin City movie. It was bad.
Ooh.
I feel like we've watched some good ones too, but almost always they're pretty bad.
Can I share with you a sort of faintly movie-related anecdote that I just remembered?
Yeah.
One year, I feel like we were on a PAX trip or like maybe the charity dinner or something, and we went to a Walmart, and they had a whole bunch of Daisy Red Ryder BB guns.
Oh.
And I was like, oh man. And I pivot to my right, and there's a woman racking actual firearms in the sporting goods section. She looks up at me and is like, you'll shoot your eye out.
I feel like she just stands there all day
Probably
and does
just
that.
spamming that joke at people.
Over and over and again. That's
Oh.
never a movie that I've really connected with.
It's fair. I mean,
like it's fine, but it's I feel like it's maybe for an older generation for sure, but
I don't know. Like, I'm not
it
sure.
feels like it should connect. It's just as a child, but I don't know.
I don't know
Never really
how,
got into that
like,
one.
how to describe why I like it. It's just like it's really goofy and in some ways sort of like in subversion of Christmas, and like it's also one of those like movies about being a kid that sort of presents it as horrible and awkward as it actually
Yes.
was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
What about Home Alone? You guys watched the Home Alone?
Haven't seen that movie in
Nope,
ages.
nope, I keep that one out of my.
Home Alone's. Home Alone. I might be one of the very few people who I don't know if I actually like Home Alone 2 better, but I think I always enjoy watching Home Alone 2 more.
You have a high
is
Culkin
weird.
tolerance.
Yeah, it's weird. I should show you.
Culkin tolerance.
I should show you this amazing short that hit the internet the other day of Macaulay Culkin. It's called Driver, and it's like he's the premise of the series is like it takes place in like an Uber or a Lyft car.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a person gets into a car and then stuff happens. And the premise of this video is this dude orders the driver, and Macaulay Culkin shows up, and he's just taking over for his girlfriend because she got high or drunk or whatever, and she couldn't make it. And he made her come, but the character is actually the character from Home Alone.
Oh wow!
And it's phenomenal, and it's so messed up, and it's so good, and I will absolutely show you guys after this, but
Yeah,
it's really
That's
funny.
really weird.
So we should probably touch a bit on boxing. That period of that weird period of time.
That weird
Now,
period.
that
between
is a
Boxing
Canadian
Day-
thing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Boxing Day is definitely Canadian.
Okay.
And we've
Well,
covered that
it's
educationally.
isn't it a British thing, right? That we stole from them, right? Isn't it?
I'll say yes.
stole plenty
and
from
be
us.
corrected later.
I don't have my phone. I
Yeah.
can't check. I was pretty sure that we stole that from the
Wouldn't surprise me.
Now
the
you got me second guessing myself.
the UKers.
But we got the Boxing Week, and then and just this weird nether zone between
Christmas and New
Yeah,
Year's.
exactly.
Which is where my birthday
For yeah. So Boxing Day for me
is. Nether Zone.
Boxing Day for me was always, as a kid, about going up island and seeing my dad's side of the family. And as that changed over the years, as people moved away from up island, and we would always go to my grandparents, and then at one point my aunt and uncles, and eventually we just stopped doing it altogether. At that point, it turned into a day to actually spend with my friends, and we would go out and we would go shop. Like me and Matt were like the big like spearheads of this. Like we'd get up in the morning and we go to Future Shop, and we go to A&B Sound, and we'd go to the malls, and we'd go to Curious Comics, and we just spend as much money as humanly possible, as basically. And that was generally always my Boxing Day, which has always been fun. It's actually the one thing I miss the most about going away for Christmas nowadays. It was when I go to Ashley's family. I miss my family, but I'm not alone. I'm just with my other family, which is great, and I love them.
It's harder to make them buy things.
But it's not that it's hard to make them buy things. It's that they live in a shitty little town with nowhere cool to go shopping,
Which is
super lame.
and what happened to me through all of my childhood.
Oh,
was
yeah?
I was always in the country, so Boxing Day was a day you spent at home
Yeah.
because going in was a big deal.
I remembered something that is different this time. I can't think of anything that I want for Christmas.
Oh, I
Or
haven't
my
been able-
birthday, for that matter.
I haven't been able to think about presents I've wanted
Yeah,
for.
I mean, it's just like, well, the thing is that like I ended up actually buying myself a lot of stuff
Yep.
because like
Well, as you grow up, you get
Yeah,
an
yeah,
expendable
I was just
income,
like-
and you can
do that.
start.
I was a little better off this year, and I decided there's like, wow, I can actually like pay all my bills and still have some left over to get some stuff that's fun. And I'll think very carefully about this, and then I'll get it. And I'm still not broke. This is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. I mean, yeah. So, I don't know what's left for people to get me. I don't care.
I'm pretty sure I'm getting pots and pans from my mom,
Oh, baby.
Oh man.
which is just
You should take them in the morning and just whale them
just
together.
clang, clang, clang.
It's like got the pot on your head.
After all that talk
Thanks,
last Boxing
Mom!
Day, you didn't even get any.
No, we didn't. We never got pots and pans, and now we're getting them from my mom.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah. As for the actual like period, I hate that week, like that 26th through 31st, because it's just like technically I
Waiting
should be
for stuff to
working.
happen.
Technically, I should be working,
Mhm.
and certainly it's different as an independent contractor. I mean, this year it's actually really easy. I know exactly what I'm doing in that nether region, and it's moving. Starting on the 28th until basically the following Monday, we're going to be moving,
Taking everything
here and going
there.
over there. So that's going to be the majority of time spent by most of us actually in that weird week between Christmas and New Year's, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to, mainly just because I'm so excited to move. I'm super excited for this
That's
new
really our
space.
Christmas present to ourselves.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's clean floors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm excited for Christmas to come, and I'm excited for what comes after.
I'm kind of excited for it to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
to get-
hoping for like just a little bit of time off, doing nothing,
Yeah, that
Or
would
just,
be
like-
that would be nice.
some breathing room.
Yeah. Wow, middle age is tough.
Is it?
It's not that tough.
No,
Also,
it's not. It's
I'm
different.
much younger than you are, so
Want to rest.
So, would you like some ice for that burn upon your posterior?
Bug. All right, we're at the danger zone time. I don't know what's gonna happen if we keep going, so I think we should wrap this up. But thank you guys so much for joining us for the second part of the Christmas tradition episode. Next episode of the LRRcast, I think, will be the best of 2015. So we'll all get in here and talk about all of our favorite music and movies and books and video games and just all the cool stuff that we sort of consumed media-wise over this last year. So look forward to that. In the meantime, thank you so much to all of our Patreons who make this podcast and the other podcast and the crap shots and the feed dumps and the streaming and everything we do possible. We super appreciate it, guys. It is because of you that we're able to move, and thank you so much, because we needed to move
And do the other things, too.
and do all the other things, and it's just been really great.
And
So
James's blow addiction.
yeah,
Like, let's just put
it's
that right out there.
massive.
Because it is easy, but because you are hard.
It is
You know.
50% of Loading Ready
It's
Run's
like, when
operating
we talk
budget.
about White Christmas, it goes straight up.
Anyways, have a Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.